And would you believe that, guys? I'm early. 2 weeks in a row. Very shocking. I'm trying to build up more rapport with you guys and be, better about being early. And honestly, sometimes I'm just excited to talk to the folks. Want to hang out, want to talk about all things geek. So that being said, let's jump into this. Got so much good stuff to get going. Let's ah, All right, guys, Brent here back. Geek Rants to cover all things Marvel, DC, Lord of the Rings, anime, gaming, Star Wars, and more. This time, we will be watching The Bad Batch. And normally, we would be doing, Bad Batch and X-Men 97 because both have been chef's kiss. They have been phenomenal. They've been a good time. They've been a good watch. Really, really diving into the psyche of a lot of great characters, a lot of great stuff that applies not only to the show itself, but to things going on inside the real world as well. And normally, we'd watch both simultaneously. But since this is the Star Wars finale and I want to get out the finale recap as soon as possible, main focus tonight will be the Bad Batch, as it is the finale, not just for this season, which has easily been its best season. I don't think you could really post an argument that season three was worse than season two. Season one was slow, in my opinion. It took a while to get going, and there were chunks of episodes where you could just, whoop, don't need this, don't need that, filler here, filler there. That's where everything, excuse me, going on with season three has been absolutely action packed. It's been exciting to see. It's been a fun watch. I've really enjoyed what we've had going on thus far. Typical Filoni writing, things have been coming out in spades, good numbers. Things have been phenomenal. Could not be more excited about what the status of Star Wars animation is doing as far as in the Disney sector. It's like I know people have their opinions about Star Wars and Disney, and hey, I'm one of them. But at the same time, the animation department has always been fantastic, so I have nothing to complain about on my end. I have nothing to be snide about. And besides, you have me for tonight's, live stream for Bad Batch, and you also have me on May the 4th. Because Tales of the Empire, you think I want to be sitting that out? No. I will be there for all 6 episodes. It's gonna be a long live stream on the channel here on YouTube and Twitch simultaneously. Twitch has been fairly quiet for us, but I'm trying to be more active on it. Recently played some Fallout 4, did that on there, and then dragged that content on over to YouTube just to see like how you guys feel about things as far as gaming here versus over there, if you guys even care at all. I know Fallout 4 is an older game, but I just watched the TV show, really liked it. Figured I'd give the game another shot because I played like 10 hours. I want to say, can't remember even if it was Fallout 4 or Fallout New Vegas. Could not tell you for the life of me. Played it a little bit, had some fun. Really enjoyed the couple hours that I put in the other day for that. Thanks to those who showed up. Really enjoyed hanging out with y'all, getting to know you a little bit better, getting to know the Geek Variant community that you are. And now I'm just like really, really excited to see where ultimately everything goes, not just for the channel, but for all these series. Because look, it's going to be a really, really busy week. So let me just bust out the calendar here real quick. It is going to be a crazy, crazy weekend. Tales of the Empire, season 2, which is technically, Tales of the Jedi's continuation. That will be Friday night / Saturday. And My Hero Academia is also going to be on the same exact day. So basically, we're going to get 6 episodes of Star Wars and the season 7 opening for My Hero Academia, all covered, one place. Gonna be all me running basically an all-nighter from what it looks like. Because I mean, 6 episodes, even at a half-hour pace, that's 2 hours of content right there, not counting the official recap itself, which is probably another half hour or so. Followed by likely will be, I'm assuming, a 3 a.m. release for My Hero Academia. That's something I still need to confirm and go over for all of its entirety, just to make sure that I've got you guys scheduled and linked up correctly. So the last thing I'm going to do is sit out and miss an anime opening, especially for one of the animes I am very, very much enjoying the manga as much as I am. Things have been absolutely crazy in all things for that show. So I've definitely been, for that, not only for the show, but for the manga itself. things have been popping off. I think the only anime that I've been more excited about what's been popping off in the manga is Jujutsu Kaisen, and not going to get into spoilers there for those who haven't dived into it, but you should. Things are going absolutely crazy, and I can't wait till the anime itself catches up so we can kind of like do all that content side by side the way that it was basically intended to be. But with tonight's finale, things are going to be absolutely crazy. I think we're not going to have any survivors by the end of tonight's episode. I think we're going to have multiple deaths. I'm not really sure in what order or how things will transpire. I think the easiest thing to have happen for the show itself would to be have like the Zillow Beast that we saw in last week's episode absolutely wreak havoc on the base, and we ultimately lose all of our key pieces because the building collapses and they're just left as a quote unquote missing person. But I mean, when you drop a building on someone, it's kind of straightforward. But again, Star Wars is a lot like Marvel. If I don't see the body or you don't show me the body in the coffin, are they really all that dead? Because, like, look, you even showed me Superman in DC inside the coffin, and he still came back out the coffin. So it's like, in certain universes, death can be, or as Palpatine say, death is only a gateway. Or I can't remember if that was Qui-Gon, but like at the same time, there were so many great things and so many interesting things that were popping off with the show right now. Omega, I'm not sold on her plan, guys. I'm not sold on her plan. And come at me if I'm wrong here, but Omega's definitely been on one, and I understand her ideology. I understand you can't just stay captive, but at the same time, once you see that the base is starting to move in an interesting perspective, things are starting to get a little bit more chaotic. Things are starting to fall directly into Clone Force 99 with the Bad Batch, what they're doing and how they're playing things out. You would ultimately decide not to opt for your plan to get everything going out because now you have to kind of reassess, so to speak, how you're going to get things done, because trying to bust out these kids and bring out these force sensitive children around a Zillow Beast as your breakout plan, that's nuts. Because like we saw in, if you watch the Clone Wars, what damage a Zillow Beast can do to a place like Coruscant, where they have the infrastructure, they have the men, they have the military might, they have the Jedi, they have people to go ahead and try and calm this gargantuan Godzilla-like monster. So for everyone to just sit here and be like, yeah, Omega, the kid who couldn't wrangle a fish from one of the early episodes this season, which was the episode with Asajj Ventress, I might add, for those who had kind of mixed feelings about where that was going. All those feelings culminated in her being unable to control this fish monster that Asajj was sort of able to control to some extent. We still had the fluctuation with the fact that Asajj is a conflicted individual between light and dark, and based upon her life and her past and how things have played out, all the different people that have used her and kind of abused her, so to speak, kind of made things complicated. So she was able to draw upon different aspects of who she is, who she was, what she was about. And now that we have, Omega basically untrained by any perspectives, because I'm not going to say she's trained. She's still less trained than Rey was, but at the same time, Rey had to have a whole montage of like weeks passing for us to be like, yeah, not necessarily a Mary Sue, but some of the Force lightning stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna call Mary Sue. I'm calling hacks. You didn't train in the dark side. You can't just boom Force lightning. It's not how that should work. For any intelligent writer of Star Wars, they never would have gone that route. But Omega, having no training, is supposed to sit here and calm a monster as visceral and insane, or as violent as a Zillow Beast can be. I have qualms, guys. I have qualms about how this could play out in the lives in our danger. Sure, she's got this ability to kind of like connect with people, calm them, make them feel and vibe a certain way that makes things more amenable for everyone around them. She's always been able to bring kind of balance to Clone Force 99 or bring balance to whoever they're discussing with or who they're negotiating with. She's kind of had that perfect touch for things verbally where she can kind of get things to calm down. She's able to like, hey, these guys have been abusing you, Zillow Beast. Why don't you go ahead and break out this way? I'll release you. Everything's gonna be great. Yeah, that's one way to make things work. I mean, is that how they're probably gonna play things out? Likely. Very likely. Is that something that the average Star Wars fan would buy? Yes. If you told her she's going to use her force powers and hold this monster in place and kind of soothe it and point its anger or its understanding in a certain direction, I mean, 45 minutes of training with Asajj that didn't go well. You couldn't master the basics. And now, under the most dire of circumstances, you're going to try and pull this force feed off? Like, all these other kids would have had to have some level of force sensitive feat or accomplishment or just understanding for me to not sit here and critically look at how this could come about, because I really, really want to root for all of Dave Filoni's projects. The Clone Wars, amazing. I know it's supposed to be a kid audience. Loved every second of it. Rebels, season one was slow. Season one was slow. I can't argue yay or nay for it. It just was slow for me. The other seasons, good. I enjoyed it. The character development finally paid off. Everything you set up as the groundwork for season one had a culmination and a great finishing point for season two. Ahsoka, phenomenal show. There were so many other pieces that Dave had set up that be able to pay off at this one, and the acting overall was done on such a level that I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I get it. This works. And then he's got 2 seasons of Bad Batch under his belt. Season one was okay. Season one, two was really good. Season three has been phenomenal. Are we going to finish it by having a questionable force feat? Because Ahsoka, we also had that questionable force feat where all of a sudden we had someone, Sabine, who, for all intents and purposes, is not a Jedi, hasn't been, and doesn't have any of the accomplishments that make us believe she's able to pull this off, and have Ezra just yeet her, with her doing majority of the work to make that jump happen. I mean, am I just being critical, or am I overthinking this? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know. But like, I personally didn't buy that. Am I gonna buy Omega controlling a Zillow Beast? I don't know, man. I just don't know. And Clone Force 99, now that we have Echo in there with everybody, we have Wrecker, Hunter, and we still have a very, very questionable Crosshair. He's coming in at 75% best. There's no way I'm going to highball him any higher. I'm not going to lowball him any lower. But with his hand, doing this constantly, the nerves, the psychological damage, the just absolutely psychological torture that they put on this man to make him one of the coldest snipers the galaxy's seen into someone who can't hit some of the more, I'm not gonna say easy shots, because I mean, let's be honest here. A sniper never gets the easy shot. There's never just gonna be sitting here, all right, no breeze, point blank, easy takeoff. But now Crosshair is out here doing this full hand levitation here, trying to struggle through fighting each and every instinct that he's got going on in order to kind of get things into perspective. It's super, super trying for me to kind of go off and be of an understanding that he's going to be able to make this happen. I'm rooting for Crosshair. I want him to be able to overcome his beliefs, overcome his struggles, overcome, his hand issues, and kind of like push through for this key moment. But at the same time, this is the finale, man. Like, none of these characters have been seen in Star Wars outside of this. The only person that we knew going into this season that we'd have going out of this season is Rex. That's one. That's one dude. Sure, he's and it's Captain Rex, and he goes all the way through, Return of the Jedi, and then some. The dude's got some serious mileage to his character, and I'm very happy for it. He was a well paid off character. He was a well written character. So for us to sit here and kind of go through what we have with Clone Force 99, I mean, it may be time to say goodbye to some of our favorite characters. And chat, you're probably going to see me go through all different kinds of emotions pertaining to the boys on this episode. And I think I'll be more emotional about this episode and some of the stuff that's happening in X-Men 97. Not to put down what X-Men 97 is doing, because look, I am not an X-Men fan. Never have been, never will pretend to be. I wasn't the target audience. Really wasn't something that jived with me even in the early 2000s, when I think they had some of the best casting that they could have gotten done for the X-Men at that time. They nailed that stuff like all the way down. X-Men just wasn't it for me. But X-Men 97? Y'all got me by the throat. This show has been on one, and it has literally just grabbed me from get-go, and I have been absolutely enthralled with what we've had going on. It's been touching a lot of tough topics, and there's been a couple conversations with fans where people are very, very passionate, but people are starting to bring up certain things that you just would think wouldn't necessarily be related to this. And it's like, I feel like that's more of an emotional perspective than like what's happening here. Because right now, with that show, the mutants are being written so dang well. It's so compelling. It's so passionate. It's so intelligently done. And you could clearly tell the writer and the team behind it cared about the source material and how these characters were portrayed. Everyone has an opinion on every character. I think the only characters that have been just meh for everybody, I think, will have to be Wolverine and Morph. Because Morph is basically jokes and then talk about deep, deep trauma. Because he's using humor, to deflect from his deep trauma that he went through, all the suffering that happened at the hands of Mr. Sinister. And then Wolverine, everyone's just met on because all he's trying to do is hook up with Jean. And then he finally gets Jean to kiss him. And he's like, let's just pretend this didn't happen. It's like, you got the thing that you wanted desperately, and then you just passed. You're like, nah, I'm good, man. Don't need this. But at the same time, it's like Scott. I'm not liking Scott for this season, Cyclops. I'm not with it. I'm not about that. I couldn't care for it if I wanted to. He had a really, really good introduction to the season, but since then has been all over the place. Rogue, say what you will about the girl. She's powerful. She can make things happen. She's a go-getter, but also sometimes being a go-getter at a moment where we need you to kind of sit on the sidelines for a second while you work through your emotions in a more constructive manner could be warranted. I love the way you manhandled Cap, though, because Cap pretending he's about the mutants and about that action, about their cause. I think even as a non-comic fan, I'd say Cap could not care less, could not be bothered. He's worried about America and American rights. Mutants who come in all shapes, sizes, colors, and variations due to their, specific genetic makeup. They're from everywhere, man. So it's like, would Cap be more ride or die for, say, an American X-Men versus, someone who's from like Africa or someone who's from Europe? Like, there's things to have to break down in that. And Cap, while being a good human on the basis of things, just like Rogue said, is very much just a cop. He goes and handles a lot of things to go police what's going on for the American system. And he was showing up because it's like, hey, you were killing American soldiers. Like, why are you doing this, Rogue? Can you not be that person? Like, I need you to behave here. Like, chill. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just pull it back, dial it down. And then, throws the frisbee, and she's just like, yeet. And to this day, Cap might still be looking for that dang thing. because that thing was gone. It was a full-on yeeted frisbee. That if there is going to be a disc golf team coming up for mutants, Rogue will be on that, and she will be doing incredibly. If it's a metal disc, Magneto is not allowed to play just due to obvious reasons. I'm sure he'll get a little competitive, and literally just everything's going to be a hole in one. And then, like, Jean has been irking me, but again, that's the exact emotions she's supposed to draw out from people, where she's like one of the world's strongest telepaths, but at the same time passes out constantly. So it's like, girl, you need to do something about your diet. You need to get some more blood and some iron in you so you can kind of like hold up, be a little bit stronger, be a little bit more motivated. Because look, I understand being an amazing telepath because you're Jean Grey, but I would love for you to stop passing out every 5 minutes. Scott, please stop having these emotional breakdowns at these moments, because you're having all this action, all these times where you're just kind of like acting out and being silly. Because we want you to be, that dude. We want you to be that guy. And honestly, this put things in perspective. I think Scott has more right to be doing what he's doing than what Jean has been doing, just to put that out there, because Jean has been actively flirting with two men. And then she put Scott on the back burner. And Scott literally was, focusing on one woman at a time. Regardless, it was the right woman, because he didn't have the right information. So he had to go ahead and make decisions that he made. It's not like Rogue, who's out here, juggling between our now dearly departed Gambit and Magneto, who is being tortured by Bastion. So we kind of have to go through that psychology on that one, because she was straight up with both of them. She was like, I kind of enjoy having both these guys' attention. And both men were smart enough to be like, yeah, I see you as a rival. I may not like this situation, but we're all adults here. We're all consenting. Rogue can make Rogue's decision for her. Ultimately, she ended up getting none. And then ultimately, she made a decision like, I should have been with Gambit, but, too little, too late. Gambit's in a box. Now we're going to have to go up and pick up the pieces and fix this situation, fix how everyone's feeling. So there's a lot of stuff to delve into and a lot of stuff to break down with that. And honestly, I hope they don't do Magneto dirty. I understand the power of emotions that they can draw out of the character if they turn him into something that is Sentinel-like. Because let's just be real here. Magneto has been through being controlled before. He's been through camps before. His entire backstory is dark. It's stuff that you can't make light of no matter how you feel about the character. He's been through it. He's been through the ringer. He's been through some deep emotional and psychological damages because of his childhood and what happened and transpired there. So he feels mutants are a certain way that is just how he goes about his business. And then he's trying to change for Charles. And the next thing you know, he would get turned into the most heinous thing possible, which would be being controlled once again. And him being a mutant, the thing he's so proud of, now being turned against him, where he has to go out and take out other mutants, would just destroy this man. That is everything he's not about. It's everything he's not for. It's the worst case situation you could have happen for him. So I'm very interested to see what they do with that. I'm interested to see what they do with Bastion. I don't know much about the character. Tony is the one who's expert opinion on all things X-Men. Will knows quite a bit too. He's very knowledgeable about it. And then there's me. Like I said earlier on in the live stream, I don't know much about the X-Men. I'm not going to front about it. I thought Wolverine was far more cool than what he actually is, now that we're kind of like seeing his limitation, his actions, because the media, portrayed him like he was some super cool character. He's just Mr. Steal Your Girl and he's going to stab you a bunch. That's not that cool. Like, is he still going to be amazing when we see him with my boy Deadpool? Yes. Super excited for that and all things that the MCU has to cover for, the Wolverine and Deadpool film, which, say what you will, that's a bromance film through and through, and it could be something that has a huge impact on how the MCU rebounds. Because look, it's like every other MCU project. The MCU is back. The MCU is dead. The MCU is back. The MCU is dead. I would just like some kind of consistency, guys. Like, I just want to be like, the MCU is here, and I can see where the story's going. That's it. Because the X Men is not part of the MCU. They were very straight up about it. It's a completely different timeline, completely different thing. No set of things are going to have it crossed together unless they just threw a complete red herring and lied to us. So, could it occupy the same space as Marvel's What If? Yeah, probably. But I'm just interested to see how things are all going to interweave in a cohesive story. Because with all the success that X Men '97 has been currently going on, Disney already came out was like, "Hey, we already have a couple of seasons written. We're just getting things hashed out. We don't really want to take breaks. We may just kind of throw these show seasons back to back to back to where they're just kind of like, a preceding season where it's like, cool, this summer X Men '97 season two, next summer X Men '97 season three, and just so on and so forth. That every single year or every single 6 months, depending how they do their TV scheduling, there would be X Men '97 for us to us to cover, and for us as fans to all watch and enjoy together. Because that's really what we're about here, Geek Variants: cohesiveness, coming together, enjoying the geek things that we love together, having a great time, learning and educating ourselves, and just enjoying all the best content that's out there, whether it be Marvel, whether it be DC, whether it be Lord of the Rings, whether it be anime, gaming, Star Wars, more. Just hit the subscribe button or that follow button, whatever platform you're on. Should you be interested in doing stuff like that? Oh, excuse me, that Fanta is just biting. But we're about a minute away right now. I'm just basically hitting that refresh button as much as possible for obvious reasons. I won't be playing the episode directly on the screen because that's against copyright laws. It's against copyright rules. Certain channels can get away with doing certain things like that. But again, you can lose your entire channel, everything you built up for doing things like that. No funny business, no games, no cheating, none of that stuff. So we're just going to be straight up with our content. I'll be talking about it once the show is up. It'll be on the other screen. Chat with me. Let me know what's going on. I'll let you guys know when the episode is absolutely live. And basically, get that set up so I can engage with you guys in the chat. As opposed to saying episode, I'm just going to say finale because that's what we're talking about here. This is the very, very end. This is the culmination of a couple years of Bad Batch that has been done by Disney, and I gotta say, I've been fairly happy. The cavalry has arrived, has officially dropped. So finale is live. Let me show that up for you guys, the viewer. There you go. I got it front showing on the YouTube side of things. And then boom, Twitch. Let's get this episode going. I'm excited. Are you? General Grievous, hello there. Hello, hello. How we doing? Happy to see you. Back to back weeks, my friend. Hello there. General Kenobi. If you notice, we got a longer episode too. This one is going 47 minutes. So it's going to be a good one, guys. This is going to be a great episode to cover. For obvious reasons, it'll be off screen. Leave your comments the episode. How it going? Talk about all things there. So excited for this finale. Anyone have any predictions for survivors, if any? Because right now, I'm calling it. Hunter and Omega survive. Right now. Calling that. Putting it up there for everybody to see, just so I can guess. See what we got here. See what happens with Hemlock. Hemlock is feeling himself with that flex on Rampart right there. Full flex. Not even a slight one. It's like, I'm indispensable. I'm what's important. Not you, dude. Hey, will Echo survive? Not sure. Not sure. Ooh, you're trying to do the right thing. My goodness. It's a little late for that. You've been torturing children for God knows how long. Can't find my previous notes. Interesting. Of course, it's dangerous, children. Risk your lives for the main character. Do it. Omega's just straight up like, I've been training for this. Girl, you have broken every rule and every direct order Hunter's ever given you. That is your whole shtick. Rebelliousness. I buy that. I buy that. Got my bold prediction. Leave your bold predictions in the chat. I'm just saying, we don't see any of these guys in any other Star Wars IPs or properties after this. So it's going to be interesting. Droid murder. All right. I see you. That lady is bad news. Which kids are going to have to risk it so the other ones can make it home? Yeah, this child doesn't have a name apparently. Great. Love it. I'll tell you nothing. My droid is about to. I mean, I gotta give it to them. That's something right there. That's something. Did they really just they just all right, they handmade a backpack, all right. I see y'all. I see y'all doing the thing. These kids are trying to survive. Mad props to them for it. I mean, you just made a backpack out of your clothes for that kid. All right. Yep. I'm gonna call it now. I don't think Wrecker and Crosshair are making it. Holding off the squad so everyone else can survive. Calling it now. And this is where the jailbreak should have happened, but Omega's plan went into effect. Project Necromancer. I don't think you're supposed to like the name. All these kids are terrified, as they should be. Doing this kind of stuff, I would be more than mortified. Yeah. Why would you keep a Zillow Beast where you're keeping this project going? Just asking for those curious. She's like, "Oh, you hear a baby crying? Go take care of it." Because they were distracted by the baby, now the Zillow Beast is free. Was not paying nearly enough attention. Hello. Now they got to take down Godzilla, and he's not having it. That guy got eaten. Yeah, I think the Zillow Beast's out just a little bit. It's a bit of a problem. Fantastic. She was gonna go look for her anyway. Echo's like, yeah, I got this figured out. It's cool. Because yeah, you're gonna need more than a small squad here to get this thing under containment. Like, what? Weren't there more clone survivors? Well, my friends, the Zillow Beast is making sure of that. Maybe just fell asleep. Complete anarchy, child asleep. I don't know what to tell you, but I guess that's the norm. What even made a monster like the Zillow? That would be a fun mode for a Star Wars Battlefront game. I am just saying though. Crosshair's not doing okay. I need to like definitely get like a Clone Force 99 helmet to put up somewhere up here. I think that'd be so cool. I don't know if it would be Hunters or Crosshairs. Hmm. Little Beast out. Hello. And it'll take them 5 seconds to figure that out. Dang. I'm not good with heights. I'm gonna put the baby on this kid. Mhm. I do get it though. Not a fan of heights either. Not a fan. Going up is easy. Going down like a ladder, mm, questionable. Oh yeah, Grievous, the cavalry has fully arrived, and they let out a beast. Things are happening. In a very active first couple minutes here. We still have a whole other half hour to go. Is Tech going to be in this pod? No, I don't see him yet. If there is going to be, but this is definitely interesting. This is basically a test run for Hemlock. Hopefully, it's an elevator because everyone seems to be hanging out around the same spot. Because they're at the top of the shaft. Mega's probably out here. Echo and Doctor Carr down this way. And there's the bad guys. All right, found them. Oh, hello. That's new. Nope. Oh yeah, take out the leg. That'll help. They'll drop all that weight. You get them. There's that. Oh, my prediction is looking a bit shoddy right now. Yep, that's the problem. Oh, okay. This is gonna be one of those dark episodes. All right. Dang. Dang. They got them all three of them that quick, huh? Oh boy. Hmm. Dr. Carr, because of Omega's influence, full change of heart. Good for her. And Hemlock's tied up with everything else going on. This is getting juicy. Wholesome moment. Waiting for the dark moment now. I'd say the music for this episode really is taking it up a notch. He's missing a hand. Yep, he took off Crosshair's hand. Oh, Governor talking. Always bring out the big guns for these episodes, huh? With some name dropping. Sneaking around. Oh, not sneaking around. We're just blasting around through. Release the boys. Oh, scale rebellion. Oh, great. Why do Rampart out? We don't need Rampart out. He plays for himself. Echo out here, flexing leadership qualities. This episode's banging thus far. Is Nala Say really going to be like a redemption hero at this moment right now? Wow. Did not predict that. Not even going to front. Hmm. And then we have the guy above Hemlock with the flex of all. Yep. Good quarter blaster fire. Love it. Love it. Oh, say grabs a grenade. Okay. Remember, what are you doing? Oh, dude. Don't don't be this guy. Do not be this guy right now, Rampart. She's just gonna suicide. Wow. It's got a little whoop, little behind the back action there. It's gonna no look past this like a Allen Iverson or Jason Kidd. They should have been able to hear her talking logically, but you know. All right, sneaking through. So far undetected, but how long will that last? Yeah, these two clones mean business. Okay. Mm, that's something. And let the problems arise. How did Hemlock just sneak through that whole battle like nothing's happened? He's out here waiting for Tarkin, and let's get this done. Good for Nala say. Rampart, fly me to the end. Mm-mm. It has been a fantastic finale thus far, Grievous. Fantastic finale thus far. My prediction is looking more and more bold by the second. Hey, good job, Echo. Myself. The mystery was just a red herring all along. They fooled me big time. Thank you, random clone. Thank you. Crosshair out here with the sniper. Hostage situation. You gotta love it. Crosshair use. And Hemlock just got lit up like a Christmas tree. C'est la vie. Hunter looked kind of miffed. He's like, "My chopped liver here." So Wrecker and Echo did not make it based on all early inclinations. Unless Echo made it out in the shuttle, we just didn't see him. Mm-mm-mm. Projection start. We're just dropping titles out here. I think that would be the Death Star, if I'm not mistaken. Someone at me in the comment section if I'm wrong, please. Clones out here making a new life. Emery and Echo. How y'all doing? But that was just a friendship pact. I just, you know, Echo and Crosshair now can be handless buddies. Like, hey, need a hand? Yeah, I'll see myself out. Hunter turned out to be a great father figure. Wrecker made it. Heck yeah. How many years later is this? Yeah, Mega looks like she's at least a teenager and a go on right now. Badger's still there. Heck yeah. One Force 99 just settled down and said, screw it. Hmm. He did transition to that dad role like super easily. So they just give us no explanation that Deck is just dead. Just move on, deal with it. Everybody else gets a happy ending. I maybe the voice actor wanted to move on to a different project or something. I don't know. I thought we were gonna lose at least one of them. Instead, they just straight up retired. He's got a full belly now. He's been living a good life for a while. Heck of a finale. Heck of a finale. See if there's anything in post credits. No. What an ending. My God. They did a phenomenal job with this series. Really liked what we had going on. The stories were written, the arcs were well done, music was fantastic, the action was good. Very little to criticize as far as the finale for season three and the finale for the series overall. I think Disney and Star Wars does their best work when it comes to animation. And normally we would also be covering X-Men 97, but I wanted to have all focus tonight on the Star Wars finale. Because I mean, it basically is Star Wars week. We have Bad Batch finale, and I'll be doing the Tales of the Empire finale. So if you're subscribed, you'll already be able to hang out with us for that live stream, which will be on Friday night going into Saturday morning. There'll be 6 episodes for Tales of the Empire. Really excited to have that covered. We'll also be covering My Hero Academia that night, which will also be me, which will be that season 7 opening. Really excited for that. But again, back to Bad Batch. Disney and Star Wars does their best work when it comes to animation, and it's shown time and time again just how well things can really jive together when everyone's on the same page. Character development was good. Um, Omega kind of grows on you as the season goes. I'm still a little perturbed, mostly from a content creator's perspective. There's no real payoff as for all the teasing that was done with Echo and all the teasing that was done with Asajj throughout the series, just to have as little, if not nothing, of them shown throughout this one. But again, hey, that's one of the content creator L's you kind of have to take. It was a red herring. It was a straight up disguise. It was something that is meant to convey something that was not there at all. It was just a mirage, so to speak. It wasn't anything of substance. So overall, just really happy with the series. Happy with what we got done here. I think this was one of the better finales for Star Wars we've seen overall. I still think Clone Wars is the best we've gotten from Star Wars animation as far as an ending of a season. Some of those shots are pretty dang iconic, just overall really well done. But again, Dave Filoni, the force is with you, my friend. You have done a phenomenal job. Everything has been superb. I can't say enough good things. I don't want to get out too much good stuff, but for those of you who have been patiently and kindly following along with the live stream with me tonight, appreciate each and every one of you. We basically had, I'll give you guys a bit of a sneak peek for what's coming for the full recap, just to save you guys some time and that click. Rampart and Nala Se, we basically had opposite arcs culminate with them. Rampart was a bad guy who had the full chance to be good, chose not to. Nala Se, a bad individual who ultimately came back to the side of humanity over science. She chose the good guys in the end, and her sacrifice was able to culminate in a great changing of the guard, so to speak, and make sure that everything Hemlock stood for did not come to fruition. Hemlock was working basically on a super soldier serum, so that blindly following orders at an elite level, which would really change the game. Really would have put the Empire head and shoulders above the rebellion. Some of these elite soldiers would have given even people like Luke a potential run for their money. If it was Luke early on, by the time we got Return of the Jedi Luke, they would have been nothing but, something for him to have ragdoll, because, Luke. But at the same time, if we got it like Empire Strikes Back Luke or New Hope Luke, this could have been an entire problem with those soldiers for him at those moments in time. If you say you sent these soldiers instead of sending, say, Boba Fett in A New Hope to go take out the Lars Homestead, things could have been entirely differently. So the fact that they were able to squash and kibosh this project as early on as they did, hats off to them. They did a good job in that. Project Stardust. We kind of need to look more into that. I want to say Project Stardust is the nickname for the Death Star project, because, the Death Star blows up planets, turns it into stardust because it's just kind of floating in the sky. That's what I believe it is. Come at me in the comment section if I'm wrong. I'm totally fine with being wrong on that one. That's something I'm speculating on. And then Governor Tarkin and the Zilla Beast. Those are our two big people moving throughout this episode. They're the ones that drive the clicks and make you want to watch your videos, hit those thumbnails, all that good stuff. The YouTuber like, comment, dislike, subscribe algorithm feeding the beast. You mention these things, people show up. Tarkin is the biggest Imperial piece we had this season other than the Emperor himself. And he knows more about what's going on with the Empire than anyone else other than the Emperor himself, who built the Empire on his blood, sweat, tears, and layers of betrayal overall for everybody and everything. And then the Zilla Beast is something that is a direct callback for something Filoni did with Clone Wars and what he's got going on here that ran beautifully together to create this lovely project. Overall, I want to say this finale was like a 9.2 out of 10 for me. It was really, really solid. Very, very little to complain about. Pacing was fantastic. The action made sense. What the characters did was perfect payoff for how they were portrayed. Just thought it was a little convenient that all the good guys got out with no lives lost at this impenetrable Empire base. But, happy endings can happen. And crazier things have definitely happened in Star Wars. So call that what that is. Overall, I would say season 3, easily the best of the Bad Batch by far. That being said, I don't really have much else to offer. Be sure to hit the lovely red subscribe button. My prediction turned out to be correct, so that part is true. But at the same time, it turned out to be not that bold. Turns out that basically everybody's there and everyone gets to live happily ever after in the galaxy far, far away. I'll live happily ever after if you hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment below. Thank you guys so much for checking out the live. We'll have another live Friday night going into Saturday morning for May the 4th. May the 4th be with you as we cover Tales of the Empire and My Hero Academia that night on another live stream. We're trying to be more active on Twitch as well with Fallout 4, so bear with me while I get a more consistent schedule lined up for you guys, the viewer. Thank you so much for your time. I'll see you in the official recap if you want even more details pertaining to my recap of Star Wars The Bad Batch Season 3, Episode 15, The Cavalry has arrived. Thank you, guys.